So we have wandered into the year 2024 together, and I hope that the new year brings the brightest blessings for you. I do have messages for the winter solstice, as well as our first channeled message for the new year. And then I will pull a medicine card, or how many ever would like to flip out of the deck for us to be our guide for this season. But first, I wanted to mention something that a friend that I work with said to me when I asked her what her plans were for this weekend, meaning this New Year's weekend. And she said to me that she was going to rest. And I said, okay. And she said, no, Laura, rest. I'm going to read because I love reading. I'm going to exercise because movement is really helpful. I'm going to sleep when I need it, and I'm going to tend to my space. And I asked her if I could use that message because I thought it was perfect, wanted to embrace it myself. And I think that it's a powerful message for all of us, doing what tends to our sacred space as much as we possibly can. And that ties into our message from the fall about creating sacred space for ourselves. As we move forward through the winter season, I have two specific messages that I want to share. First, you will also find a channeled written message on my website, thepurplerose.net, under seasonal channel, and that is also present on my blog, laura-purplerosemusings.blogspot.com. That's where I put the written messages that come through me, and it's about pausing and resting, ironically, for this coming winter season. But for our purpose today, the first message I have is that this winter season, more than most, you may find yourself in what we call an in-between space, a space where it's not quite one thing and it's not quite the other. We talk about this a lot in spiritual concepts. So, for instance, the edge of the woods, it's not the land, but it's also not the woods, or the edge of the ocean, where it's not the shore, but it's also not the water. It's that space in between. That's the place where we say in the spiritual world, it's where magic happens. It's that place where the veil is thin and we're walking in between worlds. But if your in between space happens to be in between jobs or in between relationships or in between good health and perhaps a health challenge, it doesn't always feel so magical. It can feel messy, it can feel confusing, it can feel challenging. And so, Spirit wants you to know that they are here for you. You have a whole Spirit team at your disposal, whatever you believe in, whatever those team members might look like for you. It might be angels or spirit guides, loved ones from the other side, animal helpers and friends, whatever your belief system is, whatever that is. It could be a piece of the divine, however you define it. But know that you are not here alone, and know that there is hope. That's the message that Spirit wants me to bring to you as you may find yourself in an in-between space. Also, Spirit, excuse me, is asking for all of us to surrender a little bit more. Sometimes when we get into that space, we tend to hold on. We want to have control, and that makes it worse. Whatever it is we're dreaming for or whatever it is we're hoping for kind of gets stalled when we're in that space of tension or resistance. And Spirit is reminding us all that they can see the big picture. They can even bring in something better for us that we could not even imagine. And so to let go as much as possible when you're in that in-between space. It's like a trapeze artist letting go of one trapeze bar and not yet being at the next trapeze bar, but that is the place in which you will fly. So I hope that message brings you peace. The second message for the winter solstice and the winter season ahead is to embrace your inner warrior. A lot of us who are more sensitive souls, we forget we have this other aspect to our being. And we are warriors of the light. We are here on the front lines for all kinds of challenges taking place in the world around us. And it is time to harness that strength and that courage of that warrior light within us. We stand with compassion and with gentleness, but we also stand with strength. And that placeholder of that light on this planet takes a lot of strength. So it is time to call upon that warrior, especially as we move through the winter season. With this message comes fire energy. I see a lot of fire energy coming in, which is unusual for the winter, but that is part of the message and part of the energy of the season. The fire energy brings in that passion and that ability to be strong through whatever challenges you may be going through. It also gives you the sense of purpose moving forward and to be able to push forward as well. And so I was seeing as I was getting this message that warrior poses in yoga, you know how when you form a warrior pose, you're very strong in the pose. But on the inside, there's flow, there's life force energy, there's movement, and there's flexibility. And so the message moving forward this winter is about finding that balance between that strength and that flow. Excuse me. So, the last piece of the warrior message is there is a sense from spirit that you will, excuse me, hear your call this winter. You will hear the call of soul. What is my purpose? And if you are already living your purpose, what I'm getting for you is that there will be a new piece or a new component to your soul's purpose that's going to be revealed as we move through this winter season. As always, I pull a card or whoever wants to jump out of the deck for all of us as an animal guide moving through this season. These are the medicine cards by Carson and Sams for any of you who are drawn to them. And let's see who will help us along our journey and be part of our spirit team moving forward this winter. So we have the fox. The fox is an expert shapeshifter. And so through all that we are going through all of these beautiful messages, we know that as an essential part of our spirit team is this fox that will help us shift, will help us to shine our light, will help us to hear our calling, and will help us to move forward in the best way possible for us. I hope this was helpful. Again, I wish you many blessings in general and for the new year ahead.